Now at 11, inside the arrest. New video shows deputies' first encounter with a man they say stabbed his own mother to death.
And new technology, old concerns. Which local county just rolled out facial recognition software and how the sheriff is trying to put fears to rest.
No witnesses, the pivotal vote, and what it all means for the end of President Donald Trump's impeachment trial.
Plus, right place, right time. Local heroes race to save a man's life, but say they didn't do it for the accolades.
WESH 2 News starts now with breaking news.
At breaking news, the man on your screen right now is under arrest, charged in a deadly hit and run out of New Smyrna Beach. Back in July, police say Jeffrey Krull ran down Timothy Calabrese with his car and then kept going. Authorities haven't said what new information led to today's arrest. And now to brand new video capturing the arrest of a young man accused of the brutal stabbing death of his own mother.
WESH 2's Kelsey Thorne is at the Orange County Jail to walk us through that encounter between deputies and Michael King.
Michael King has been in the Orange County Jail here for close to a year, but even after all this time, we are still getting new information about what happened the night he allegedly killed his mother, including some newly released body cam video.
The only thing he told me is that he was in the woods since I was young.
You can see in this newly released body cam video the moment deputies took now 19-year-old Michael King into custody.
Let these guys just check you real quick. Keep your hands on your pocket. Okay, we're going to walk over the front of my car, all right?
Just hours before this video was taken, deputies say King stabbed his own mother, Nancy Ann Noon, to death inside their Winter Park home. In the video, you can hear King tell deputies the knife is still in his pocket.
I have a knife. You have a knife? Where's it at? It's in my right-hand pocket.
Deputies say King admitted to killing his mother and had fantasized about murder for months. In evidence previously obtained by WESH 2, a disturbing handwritten note reads, "I'm possessed, and you are possessing a woman. You need to kill her." King has been in jail since last February. At first, he was ruled incompetent to stand trial, but last fall, that ruling was overturned. Now, King's trial was originally scheduled for last December, but his defense attorneys asked for more time. His trial is now scheduled for May. In Orange County, I'm Kelsey Thorne, WESH 2 News.
The high-profile murder of Nicole Montalvo is now in the hands of a different state attorney.
The St. Cloud mother was killed late last year, but none of the charges filed so far are directly tied to her murder.
While incredibly powerful circumstantial evidence exists in the case, no charges have been filed. The Osceola County Sheriff and the state attorney have been feuding.
Now, that prompted Governor Ron DeSantis to step in, taking the case from State Attorney Aramis Ayala and then handing it over to Brad King in Marion County. The Osceola County Sheriff argued there was enough evidence for homicide charges, but Ayala says the evidence simply was not there.
None of our attorneys could take an oath and swear that we could prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right now, both Christopher Otero Rivera and his father, Angel Rivera, are in jail on other charges. The state has 79 more days to formally charge them with murder.
Turning now to your forecast. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Tony Bonaffi has been watching the radar. And Tony, parts of Central Florida are getting rain, but South Florida getting thrashed.
Yeah, they're under a severe thunderstorm watch. In fact, there's a tornado warning for Monroe County, but that rough weather, Jim, that's staying south. Here, we're going to get some rain overnight tonight. It's actually going to redevelop over Central Florida a little bit later on tonight. You can see we do have some rain here across the eastern side of the peninsula. Let's begin up north here. A little bit of drizzle just now moving offshore of Flagler County. Seminole County, Orange County, for the most part, looking pretty good. Couple of light, isolated showers here near Port St. John. Does get a little bit heavier over the turnpike. This is going to build back towards Melbourne, Palm Bay, and Cocoa Beach as we go through about the next half hour. But watch what happens. Now, as low pressure builds in off of the Gulf of Mexico, moisture is going to redevelop even up towards Palm Coast and Ocala, and this is going to linger through daybreak tomorrow morning on into early afternoon. So if you're looking for sunshine tomorrow morning, you're not going to get it. What you'll need is an umbrella. The Super Bowl Sunday forecast straight ahead.
All right, Tony, thank you. It is controversial technology that could help catch criminals. And now facial recognition software is being used in Volusia County. WESH 2's Chris Cordero shows us how it works and why Orlando police decided against using facial recognition permanently.
The Volusia County Sheriff says the way that this facial recognition technology works is that someone would submit a photograph and the software would use a wide range of sources on the internet to try to find the person in the picture. Sheriff Mike Chitwood says his office purchased a year license of software called Clearview AI this month. Deputies use this program to find wanted suspects. Chitwood posted on social media Friday saying facial recognition software is a powerful tool for generating leads on people we have on camera but aren't able to identify. In fact, it helped us generate leads in about 30 cases so far. In the post, Chitwood acknowledges concerns about privacy and rights. He went on to say the results of a facial recognition search serves only as an investigative lead. It's never to be considered a positive identification of anyone. People who live in Volusia County who we spoke with say they're apprehensive about this new tool.
I just think it's a personal invasion of my privacy because what I do in my personal life on my time should be about me.
Trying to catch criminals, like I think that's fine and I think that would work, but it's just like that's the first step into something that could turn into something worse.
Orlando police tried out facial recognition tech from Amazon Web Service during 2 pilot programs, the most recent ending in July. In a city memo from Police Chief Orlando Rolón that month, he announced the department did not have the resources to properly test and set up the software and would no longer be using it. Chitwood also says that a face match from this software will not be the sole piece of evidence used for probable cause for an arrest. In Volusia County, Chris Guardaro, WESH 2 News.
Now to Orange County, where fire rescue crews battled flames at a mobile home in Bithlo tonight. They tell us the family who lives here was not home when it started, but one person on scene had to be treated for smoke inhalation. Fire rescue says a cat and chicken inside the home were able to escape, but one cat inside is still missing. They have not yet said what started that fire.
In Osceola County, a pursuit ends with deputies deploying stop sticks and nabbing several suspects in a string of car burglaries. Sean Cosby Davis, Nara Braithwaite, and Regina Taylor were all arrested, but deputies say a 4th suspect who was driving the car got away. Investigators tell us the pursuit began when the group was spotted breaking into trucks. We're told the car that they were in was linked to 11 other burglaries.
6 weeks later, and the Volusia County Sheriff says 2 emaciated horses rescued from a home in Edgewater are thriving and ready for adoption. Sheriff Mike Chitwood went to visit the horses today. We're told both of the Arabian mares have gained somewhere between 130 and 150 pounds since their rescue. They've been renamed Mary and Holly in honor of Christmas. Those horses were taken from a property on Clinton Cemetery Road. We're told the horse's original owner could still be prosecuted. The sheriff's office sent charges to the state attorney for review. In a vote mostly along party lines, senators rejected allowing witnesses at President Donald Trump's impeachment trial.
But in a surprise move, the ultimate vote on whether to remove him from office didn't come tonight. Alice Barr has the latest.
Mrs. Blackburn, no.
The impeachment trial of President Trump is nearing an end. Closing arguments now set for Monday with a final vote on Wednesday. There will be no witnesses as Senate Republicans mustered enough votes to block them. Only 2 moderate Republicans crossing party lines. The president is all but certain to be acquitted, but the Senate's top Democrat said that verdict will have no value.
As Americans will know that this trial was not a real trial. It had no witnesses, no documents. It is a tragedy on a very large scale.
President Trump on Twitter saying Democrats keep chanting fairness when they put on an unfair witch hunt. The White House saying the president is gratified the trial will be ending soon, though not as soon as he wanted. He had pushed for it to end by Tuesday in time for his State of the Union address.
To prolong this is more about politics than it is about any policy decisions.
Tonight, Democrats took one last swing at witnesses, offering a series of amendments, including one to subpoena former National Security Advisor John Bolton and acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney. That attempt failed. House managers blasting Republicans for voting against seeing new evidence, with Speaker Nancy Pelosi going so far as to call them accomplices to the president's cover-up. Between closing arguments on Monday and the final vote on Wednesday, senators will deliberate and can explain their stance in speeches on the Senate floor. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And stay with WESH 2 News, both on air and online at WESH.com. We will continue providing you the latest updates, including alerting you to the ultimate vote, which again is expected Wednesday. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has arrived in Florida. He's set to spend the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago resort, where just earlier today there was actually a security scare and officer-involved shooting. Tonight, Hannah Romold, a 30-year-old woman from Connecticut, is under arrest. Authorities say her SUV crashed through a series of concrete barriers, causing officers to open fire. Nobody was hit. After her eventual capture, the authorities said they didn't believe that she had terroristic intentions and may not have known that she was even driving towards Mar-a-Lago. She'd allegedly gotten into a scuffle with the trooper earlier after she was confronted in a parking lot for dancing on top of her vehicle.
New quarantine and travel restrictions are set to begin Sunday evening as California confirms it now has the 7th case of coronavirus in the U.S. U.S. citizens returning from Hubei province are subject to up to 14 days of mandatory quarantine. Those returning from the rest of mainland China will undergo proactive early health screenings. All flights from China into the U.S. will be funneled into 7 airports. The closest to us is Atlanta. It's been closed for more than 3.5 years, but a Daytona Beach bridge could soon reopen. County leaders now say Veterans Memorial Bridge, also known as the Orange Avenue Bridge, will open to traffic in March. It was being converted from a drawbridge to a high-rise. The decking is done, but railings still need to be installed, along with utility cables and lighting. The federally funded bridge closed in June of 2016 and was supposed to be complete in December of 2018. The contractor is facing a huge fine for the overrun. Tales of heroism all up and down the local coast tonight, from an officer racing into a burning home
to 2 men in the right place at the right time, putting their own lives on the line to save another.
Plus, why the future is far from certain for a local stadium and what the owner says needs to happen to keep it open. Tony.
Very rough night down in South Florida. In fact, there's a tornado warning not too far from Miami. Miami just put in a severe thunderstorm warning, while back closer to home, some light rain showers. I'll show you what to expect out the door straight ahead.
It's called virtual school.
With a life hanging in the balance, 2 local men didn't hesitate to spring into action.
But as you're about to see, they're not looking for praise.
West 2's Gail Pasco Brown went to Palm Coast to meet up with the 2 who pulled a man from his burning truck.
Can you imagine being in the truck that caused this damage here in Marina Cove in Palm Coast? But thank goodness to 2 quick-thinking Good Samaritans who helped save that driver's life.
It feels good. I don't want to be praised, though. I did it because it's the right thing to do.
Kevin Luciano and Mitch Watts, employees with Babcock Furniture, had just made a delivery in Marina Cove when...
In a little side mirror, I just see the scene, of course, with a truck and a bunch of smoke.
They jumped out and checked on the driver. He crashed into this concrete wall, and his truck was on fire.
He was freaking out, for sure. He wanted to get out. He was just asking for me to call his wife. He gave me his wife's number. I called her. I was on the phone with her.
The driver was towing a trailer with a Bobcat excavator. Traveling deputies say at a high rate of speed and lost control. He also hit another truck. Mitch and Kevin got the fire extinguisher out of their vehicle.
I passed it off to him because he got up in there real quick, and I went back to the door to see if I can get the door open for him.
It got to the point that there was so much smoke in the car, he started elbowing the window to break the window, and that's when I came with a fire extinguisher and broke it so he can breathe.
Had they not done that, we could have had a very different ending.
The sheriff was in the area and came upon the crash.
Certainly gives you faith in humanity. Quite often we see the bad side of humanity, and these 2 young men did the right thing.
The fire department used the jaws of life to get the driver out. Both employees, who are family men, say it's all about stepping up when someone needs help.
I have kids of my own. And a wife, so to be in that situation, it's kind of tough. And to see the guy's fear, I can't take that image out of my head.
In Flagler County, Gail Pascal Brown, West 2 News.
A Melbourne police officer who rushed into a burning building says he felt his face burning and the hair on his arm singe as he pulled a trapped woman to safety. Officer Robert Smith passed near the burning Coastal Point Apartments on Fee Avenue on his way to work yesterday. The state fire marshal's office says 27-year-old Darren Brown set his own apartment on fire using flammable glue because he wanted to kill bugs. Eugenia Turcotte's apartment is the one above it, and she was the one who was trapped inside.
All I heard was screaming. I mean, it was so loud. I could hear it over the fire, the crackle and everything. By that time, there was so much smoke and fire coming up there, it was almost impossible to get to it.
Smith kicked down the door and got her out. She's coming home from the hospital today, and she will be okay.
Volusia County beach access ramps all switch to the in-season schedule starting tomorrow. Now, here's what you need to know. The Crawford Road Beach ramp in New Smyrna Beach will remain a pass holder only express ramp. 23 access ramps will operate daily from Ormond Beach to New Smyrna, and annual beach passes are now valid for 1 year from the purchase date rather than for the calendar year. This allows pass holders to receive the full value of their annual pass.
All right, so if you made your weekend plans, don't discard them completely because of the weather. That rain's going to be in, and then that rain's going to be out.
Yeah, we like Sunday far better than we like Saturday. But, you know, we're going to watch that weather tomorrow. It's going to be a little damp, a little bit wet. You'll need an umbrella. And, again, it's kind of linger a little bit longer into the southern reaches of our viewing area. But I think by late in the day up north, we'll be in much better shape. And Super Bowl Sunday, around the horn, if you're hosting, you're in good shape. Summer, you hosting?
I am not.
All right, just figure it out.
Jim is.
Jim, you?
I don't know. Maybe I am, Tony.
Sharon's working on something, maybe? All right, keep us posted. North-northwest wind at 6, temperature at 66 degrees. We take a look at the satellite and that radar. There's our area of low pressure now, gradually pulling towards the Big Bend area there of the Panhandle. To the south and east, it's been a very rough and active night here across South Florida. Big Boeing echo of thunderstorms now racing towards downtown Miami. A lot of wind with that particular feature. Here, we've got some lighter rain showers down through Osceola, Brevard County. We've had a couple pockets of some drizzle earlier up there in Flagler County, coastal Volusia County. In town, over towards the 429, the 417, and the Florida Turnpike through Lake County is in good shape. However, the Turnpike through Osceola County and I-95 definitely a bit on the wet side. A bit more moderate rain now. In and around Kenansville, we'll shoot back towards Melbourne and Palm Bay as we go through the next half hour to 45 minutes. And then overnight tonight, as low pressure gradually works on in, the overall coverage of rain will begin to fill in here across central Florida. It will be of the light variety for the most part. There may be a couple of pockets of some heavier showers, but again, nothing like what's going on in South Florida. We are not anticipating any active or severe weather here. Again, through the afternoon, clouds are locked in. The rain will wind down shortly after about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Let me show you a futurecast here. Just updated a short time ago. You can see a good coverage of rain out the door in the morning. Even through the lunch hour here, could be a bit more moderate south and east of Orlando. Things winding down by about 3 o'clock. Clouds will hang tough, but then gradually begin to clear on out by Saturday evening, setting us up for what is going to be a gorgeous Super Bowl Sunday here in central Florida. Not even seeing any clouds on our model guidance there. The models look like this now. The farther north you go, the lower the amounts of rain. The farther south you go, a quick half-inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain down across southern Brevard County and Osceola County. Again, any severe thunderstorms tonight, South Florida only. South Florida only. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon, a bit on the cooler side. Normal high should be about 72. We'll be in the mid-60s here in Orlando, low 60s up north. And then for the Zora Festival, lingering showers through early afternoon Saturday. Saturday night, Sunday, looking much better with temperatures in the mid to the upper 60s. Super Bowl Sunday forecast down there in Miami Gardens, 3 o'clock for the tailgaters, 72. 6:30 temperature coming in at about 66 degrees. You're tired of the damp and the cold? I've got a forecast here for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that you'll like. South-southwest winds. We warm up into the 80s. In fact, let me show you that. 60s this weekend. By Wednesday, we're in the 80s. Next cold front arrives late Thursday on into Friday.
All right, Tony, thank you. An announcement could come as soon as Monday about an event aimed at turning around the struggling Daytona Stadium.
The owner says it's in talks to bring in a huge concert act. DME took over the stadium in 2018, signing a 30-year lease and pouring money into much-needed improvements. The stadium is home field for Seabreeze and Mainland high schools, along with Bethune-Cookman University. But DME's founder says the venture has not paid off, and it needs partners.
It doesn't make sense that DME is taking on the responsibilities that it's taking on, the liabilities that it's taking on, and, you know, losing a tremendous amount of money per year.
Oh.
DME says it's losing about $500,000 a year and needs to restructure its lease for the stadium to survive. The company currently pays $150,000 annually to the city.
All right, time to talk sports. And one thing on everyone's mind still in the sports world is Kobe.
Yeah, the Lakers taking the floor for the first time since Kobe's death and the other 8 members on that helicopter flight. It was an emotional scene at Staples Center. We'll take a look. They are playing by now. Plus, what an inspiration this guy is. Raheem Mostert, a long journey to the Super Bowl in South Beach. We'll head to New Smyrna Beach. Next in sports.
Now, West 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltzfus. Tonight in L.A. Right now, the Lakers are playing their first game since Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others lost their lives in a helicopter crash last Sunday. But before the game, thousands formed a makeshift memorial outside the Staples Center. Shirts with Kobe's number 8 and number 24 filled the seats inside the arena. The Lakers chose to wear Kobe's uniform over their warm-ups, some wearing that number 8, others 24. Both numbers are already retired by the Lakers, hanging from the ceiling of the Staples Center. After a moving tribute video, LeBron James taking the microphone, talking about the importance of honoring Kobe and by playing tonight.
Tonight, we celebrate the kid that came here at 18 years of age, retired at 38, and became probably the best dad that we've seen over the last 3 years, man.
Visible emotion from LeBron. 49ers breakout back. Raheem Mostert, he's emotional too. He's heard more no's than yeses in his career, but that didn't stop him. And now the new Smyrna Beach product is 2 days away from playing in the Super Bowl in his home state. After a monster NFC championship game a little more than a week ago. He may look like an overnight success, but his story is anything but that, especially for those who know him best. It's not his biological mother or father. It was Pop Warner coach Mike Pork Chop Stokes and Chop's wife Deanne who filled parental roles for him. They frequently gave him rides home from practice, and even all the way back then, Pop Warner football, they knew this young man was special.
He's been a superstar all the way through, just nobody saw it. But he's paid his dues. He's had a lot of heartbreak, a lot of people telling him he wasn't good enough. He never let that get to him. He always used it as a motivator that I'm going to prove not just to them but to myself that I can do this.
Courtney Jasmine will have more on that tomorrow. 5 more people are now inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Buddy Baker, Joe Gibbs, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, and Waddell Wilson joining the most elite group in stock car racing up in Charlotte. But of course, Tony Stewart, Smoke couldn't join that group without slipping in a few jokes for his acceptance speech. Take a listen.
And since we're talking about family, and since I don't have one of my own, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all the girlfriends who were there as part of this journey with me.
Of course. Tony Stewart as only Tony Stewart can. That's it for sports. The news continues.
A group of Tibetan monks visiting the Florida Keys helped release an endangered sea turtle into the waters off of Isla Mirada yesterday. Hundreds of spectators gathered to cheer the release of Drifter, a 170-pound female adult loggerhead sea turtle rescued and rehabilitated at the Florida Keys-based Turtle Hospital. The release followed a ceremony performed by the monks, each an ordained student of the Dalai Lama.
You don't see that every day.
No, you do not.
All right, guys, a couple showers out the door tomorrow morning. A little bit cooler. Temperatures will be in the 50s up north, low 60s here in town, but improving Saturday night and Super Bowl Sunday.
Bet you didn't know the largest sea turtle ever discovered weighed just over 1 ton and was just shy of 10 feet long. You know who knew that fun fact? The Weekend Sunrise crew. Alex and Eric on the air dark and early, beginning at 5 a.m. with overnight news and your first alert forecast, and we're always on at WESH.com.
Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.